fellow STEEMians, welcome to Bullish Money. I recently posted an article about the fear-mongering that's going on with the anti-Bitcoin crowd. And one of the articles that I saw on the mainstream was from IBT, International Business Times. And they wrote an article explaining 4 big reasons why people should not get involved in Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. And one of them was the fact that, well, alleged fact that people simply don't understand Bitcoin. And I just found it to be an incredibly lazy argument, particularly because understanding an investment is not a prerequisite for investing in that particular asset class. And also, if you make the assumption, if you go with the line of reasoning that Bitcoin is not understandable and therefore it is not worthy to be invested upon, then you are assuming by logical extension that the traditional paper markets are understandable for everyone. And I'm sorry, but the paper markets is exactly the platform that people absolutely do not understand. In fact, it is probably the most dangerous platform simply because people think they understand the paper markets and they don't. And you know that that is the case because we've seen dramatic collapses, the tech bubble in the 2000s, the 2008 financial collapse, and then the 2009 and onwards Great Recession. I mean, we've seen tremendous flash crashes and market collapses throughout the paper platform, so to speak. So clearly people don't understand the risk-reward dynamic. I mean, so many people had their wealth transferred away from them. You know, people, pensioners, people who were close to retirement, they saw trillions of dollars being transferred away from their portfolios and into the hands of the big banking cabal. So did people understand that that was going to happen? They did not understand it at all. So if you're going to use understandability as the prerequisite, as a catalyst for whether or not an investment is a good investment, then the paper markets is guilty as charged in terms of that definition, because the paper markets have destroyed so many people. Whereas Bitcoin, I don't think you can make that argument. I mean, yeah, if you got out at the wrong time and you hit the wrong cycle at the wrong time, yeah, you would take a loss, obviously. That's the same principle for every single investment class. But if you've held on to Bitcoin for the longer term, my friends, you have done very, very well. So all the animus towards Bitcoin, in fact, it should be redirected back towards the traditional platforms, because it's one thing to say that a market is understandable, and yet it's one thing to say that a particular market is not understandable, and yet it happens to be profitable, and it's quite another to say that everybody understands it, but that concept that everybody understands it is actually a false one. It is a false understanding, and that false understanding is the principle by which so many people have lost out. I mean, trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars taken away from hardworking Americans and funneled into the hands of the international banking cartel. So you take your pick, which one is more dangerous, Bitcoin or the traditional platform. In my opinion, the traditional platform has proven itself decade after decade after decade of being the most pernicious platform that is available right now.